Okay, hi everyone. Fox 19 now, First Alert Meteorologist Anna DuVall. Here's your forecast update. If you're on my streams normally, we're normally pretty upbeat, talking about a lot of stuff. I kind of have I have a migraine right now, an optical migraine, so we're going to take things pretty slowly and probably get done with this pretty quickly as well. This is what it's looking like outside right now. Hope everyone enjoyed their Saturday. But yeah, the sun sets. This is what it's looking like. And across the area, here's what it's looking like as well. Let's talk about those temperatures, and then we'll get into what we got to today. Here's what it's looking like. New Cincinnati sign out there, 28 degrees, gusting up to 22 miles an hour. So a little bit breezy, making it feel more like the teens. That'll continue to be the trend going into tomorrow morning as well. So that's what it's looking like. Basically, across the whole area is going to feel pretty similar to that. Today we got up to 34. That low was 25. We didn't see any rain, but we did see some snowfall. None of that was accumulating, but you did see some of those flurries out there. It made it look like a pretty day. For me, if it's cold, I'd rather it be snowing and cold. But that was pretty much an average day in January for us today. So I'm glad we weren't in that record where it was -12. Here's what it's looking like out there right now. Again, nothing really going on. We can zoom out. We'll start to clear up some as we go through tonight. It'll be more of like a partly cloudy sky, but we're staying dry. We're not going to see any more of those snow chances out there, not for the next couple of days. And again, these clouds will start to break up going into tonight. 30 degrees in Cincinnati, 27 in Batesville, 28 in Flemingburg, and in Covington as well. Here's what it's looking like for temperatures again. I know we just went over them, but here's them on a different view in case your area wasn't on the last map. 28 Cincinnati, 31 in Georgetown, Maysville 28 as well, 31 in Connersville, Batesville 27. That might be our coldest spot on the list there. If we zoom out, this is what it's looking like. A lot of people are seeing those colder temperatures. And you can see we're pretty similar to the south now. They're kind of getting blasted with the cold air as well. 36 in St. Louis, 37 in Nashville, 28 in Cincinnati, 41 in Raleigh, 43 in Atlanta. Over the last 24 hours, we've lost a pretty good chunk of our temperatures by about 15 degrees in a lot of places. So definitely feeling those chillier conditions when you head outside today. And again, it's feeling pretty cold as well. Most people are feeling more like the teens right now, opposed to feeling like the actual temperature, which is around the low 30s. Going into tonight, it's going to be pretty cold. Again, though, it's going to be partly cloudy skies. 22 degrees. Hi, Lynn. I see your comment. I actually have a migraine. 22 degrees will be our temperature tonight, but the show must go on. Here's what it's looking like across the area for tomorrow's lows. 28 in Middletown, 22 Cincinnati. So again, pretty chilly temperatures across the entire area. Waking up tomorrow morning, it's going to feel more like the single digits and teens out there going into tomorrow morning as you're heading off for your commute. We can track out the rest of your day here because I did mention that we do have a warm-up on the way here coming soon, but we're not really going to see anything in regards to snow, rain, anything going on until about Wednesday. That's when things really start to change up. But for right now, we're dealing with some breezy conditions. These are sustained winds. So at a constant rate of feeling 15, 16 mile per hour winds, and then gusting even stronger than that outside. A lot of people seeing the 20s, mid-20s in teens in terms of wind gusts, which is making it feel a lot colder outside. Here's what it's looking like when the winds are going to die down, and that's going to be once we make it through tomorrow, we won't see those gusty conditions. They start to die off a little bit overnight. Then we're going to be back into the 20s, almost 30 mile per hour wind speeds going into Monday early morning. And honestly, that same story is going to be lingering around with us going into Tuesday. So pretty strong winds happening over the next couple of days. So we'll continue to see gusty conditions, but as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures are actually increasing over the next couple of days. So those wind gusts won't be as terrible as they're feeling right now, especially making us feel more like the single digits. Here's what it's going to be feeling like when you're waking up tomorrow morning. Again, if you're up pretty early, this is 6 a.m., feeling more like the teens outside, more like the 20s going into the afternoon. And the wind isn't going to be as terrible going into Tuesday early morning, feeling more like the 20s out there. But by the afternoon hours, temperatures are on the rise. And I'll show you that here with your 10-day high temperatures as soon as that loads. Again, Monday is going to be warmer, 42 degrees, and then we'll have the 50s back for Tuesday, upper 40s for Wednesday, and then we'll have a big drop-off happen. We'll be back into the 30s, and this is seasonal for this time of year, so this is one of another warm up and then another cool down like we've been having back and forth here over the last 2 months. So that's what's on the way, but once that cool down happens, that's when we start to see our snow chances start to come up a little bit as well. So I'll track that out for you. I do want to show you guys this difference. Once again, I feel like it's sort of weather whiplash, especially since today's high was 34. Going into Tuesday, we're going to be back up to 50. So definitely going to see those warmer temperatures on the way here. If you like the warmer temperatures, that's good news for you. Our low temperatures are going to be pretty chilly, especially after we get through this big warm up we're having, and a big in quotation marks, however you want to take it. We're going to be up in the 50s. I think 20 degrees is a pretty major warm up for January. But again, low temperature wise, once we get into the end of the week, we're going to be seeing the teens for our low temperatures. So you're going to be waking up and it's going to feel more like single digits and teens outside. But that's what we're looking like. Here's what it looks like if we track out what it's going to be for everybody moving forward. And again, Wednesday is going to be our next bigger chance to see some snow, some rain. It's likely going to be rain that turns into snow, especially as temperatures drop into the evening hours on Wednesday. And that'll circle on through, and then we're expecting another round of some snowfall here going into Friday. It's not looking like very heavy snow, but it's definitely going to be cold enough that some of this could stick to the ground. So it's just something we're watching there. Even going into Saturday, there's another round of snow. So we have a pretty decent chance of seeing some snow, especially towards the end of the week, going into the weekend. And then for Sunday, that starts to clear up a little bit. So again, just for a recap for everybody, it'll be cold and calm going through tonight. We'll see those single digits. Those teens is what it's going to feel like out there. For the early portion of the week, it's going to be calm. We're not expecting rain chances until about Wednesday. And it's going to be slightly warmer. We'll see the 50s come into the forecast. And then by the end of the week, temperatures drop off, and then we'll see more snow chances. I wanted to show you guys one thing and explain this a little bit better for those of you on here. Here it just takes just a second to load this. It is bigger. So as we move into the next couple of days, this is an upper level map. So what we're looking at here is the western portion of the United States being under a ridge. So they're going to be seeing an upper level high pressure. They're going to stay pretty warm, but you can see this trough here over us, and this is just going to dig deeper. And as this starts to dig deeper, that's when we see those colder temperatures take over the tri-state, because we have an upper level low that's really going to drive in, and it's going to bring us those rain chances, those snow chances, and those colder temperatures. You can see that dipping down there on Wednesday and going into Thursday. And again, this is what's helping drive all of that colder weather coming into the tri-state. Here you can see all of that Arctic air will start getting funneled in. That upper level low will bring in enough of that cold weather and start driving in chances to see rain and snow. And again, that's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. So that's what it's looking like in terms of what's happening in the upper air that's driving this colder weather that we're going to be seeing moving into the end of the week. But for now, we'll get warmer going into Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, again, that's when the pattern starts to shift in the upper levels. And Thursday is when that cold air really starts to settle in, and that's going to stay with us. You can see how that trough kind of just sticks around and stays with us, even going through Friday, and we're expected to stay pretty cold. We're expected to see some snow chances, some rain chances as well, especially as temperatures start to drop here. I'm going to show you guys the 7-day forecast. Again, that warm-up happening Monday, Tuesday. This will be about 10 degrees warmer than we saw today going into Monday, so definitely warmer there. But we'll have those gusty conditions, so it's going to feel a little chillier than 42 is. Then for Tuesday, 50 degrees. So warmer day ahead for Tuesday. If you like the warmer conditions, we're going to be dry for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we have that chance of seeing rain, and that's going to turn more into a snow chance late in the evening on Wednesday. And this is when the temperatures start to drop. We'll see a few flakes there Thursday, Friday. We'll see temperatures flirting with that freezing mark. And then Saturday, that chance to see some snowflakes continue. Something we'll have to watch closely as these temperatures are just flirting with the 30s there. They're not very low, but if they happen overnight before the high temperature happens, then they have a higher likelihood of sticking around. Then as we move into Sunday, we'll start to dry up, but we're going to stay pretty cold, and it's expected to stay that way going into the start of next week too. So that's what we're looking at. I can show you guys one last thing. We're expected to be near normal or slightly below our average going into the end of January. So January 19th through the January 25th. You see the blue colors here, that's below average. Average for this time of year is right around the low 30s. So if you like the colder temperatures, that's the good news for you guys, because that's on the way moving forward, especially by the end of January. That's all I have for you guys today. I know that was kind of short and easy, but I hope everyone had a great weekend and they have a great start to your work week. You enjoy the warm-up and enjoy some snow chances on the way as well. But that's all. Here is your 7-day. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and see you guys next time.